id Software's Doom 3 is one of the biggest first-person shooters ever released. It's a dark and scary place, so we invite you to join us for this guided tour of the game. That way you'll have a better sense of what to expect when you finally reach the Union Aerospace Corporation's Mars base and start facing the forces of hell all by yourself. Doom 3 is reminiscent of its predecessors in how you encounter new weapons and new monsters in a linear progression. We'll take a look at what you'll encounter in the first few levels of the game and leave some surprises in store for you to find out on your own. Early on, you'll start off with just your fists, but soon you'll get a pistol and a shotgun. This shotgun becomes your mainstay throughout the course of Doom 3, as a matter of fact, and Doom fans would expect no less. The shotgun is always an effective weapon to use when you're facing enemies at close range, whether they be big or small. Just a couple of point-blank shots from the shotgun are enough to take out even some of the biggest forces of hell. The pistol, on the other hand, is effective only when you don't have much else to choose from. It's very accurate, but also pretty weak. Nevertheless, when you use it to plug zombies right in their foreheads, it can take them down pretty quickly. Fortunately, zombies are what you'll be facing early on in the game, and they come in a number of different varieties. Most of them, whether they be kind of skinny or fat, will just kind of shuffle towards you, and the object is to gun them down before they get anywhere close to you and start swinging at you. However, you won't have such an easy time of dealing with the armed zombies, which come in a variety of different configurations, ranging from those with machine guns and pistols to those with shotguns and more. Some of these guys are actually pretty clever, so you'll need to be on the lookout for them and try to use cover when taking them out. It won't be long before you happen upon the machine gun, which is another Doom 3 mainstay. It doesn't really sound like much, but it sure does pack a punch if you concentrate fire on a target. It can spit out rounds of ammunition very quickly, but be careful. You'll run out of ammo quite fast if you just lay on the trigger with this thing. Fortunately, the machine gun's very accurate, and you can use it to take out enemies such as the Imp, which you'll encounter at about the same time. The Imp is one of the coolest and creepiest enemies of Doom 3, and it lunges at you with its powerful claws and throws fireballs at you and things like that. It'll often get the drop on you by teleporting in right behind you or right in dark nooks and crannies and things like that. But you'll grow very used to facing this enemy over the course of the game, so learn to take it out with a shotgun or with concentrated fire from other weapons. By the way, you'll learn early on that the flashlight is actually one of your most useful tools. It actually counts as a weapon. You could use it to club zombies and things like that, but the flashlight's main use, of course, is to see in the dark, which you otherwise can't really do during the course of Doom 3. It's a very, very, very dark game, so basically you'll be wanting to walk around with a flashlight equipped, and fortunately you can easily toggle between your last equipped weapon and the flashlight. So as soon as you hear the bad guys, make sure to hit that F key by default and switch to your big guns. One of the more satisfying big guns in Doom 3, speaking of which, is the chain gun. Unlike in the past Doom games, this one actually has to reload every once in a while, but still, once you've got it spinned up and spewing out hot lead, there isn't a demon in hell that can withstand its fire for very long. Around this time, you'll also encounter the good old Pinky Demon for the first time. He's real scary, but a couple of close shotgun blasts will show him the way to a better place. Hot on the heels of the chain gun is the plasma gun, which actually works in a similar fashion. Just put the enemy in your sights and hold down the trigger until the enemy turns into ashes. Just keep a lookout on your ammo counter because, like the chain gun, the plasma gun burns through ammunition very fast. Save it for when you're facing some of the tougher monsters in the game, such as the Caco Demon, which can fly around and be difficult to draw a bead on, or when you're facing groups of smaller, tougher enemies like the Trites, those spider-like things. They don't take much of a beating individually, but when you see one of these things, expect to see lots more. Doom 3's menagerie of monsters is extensive. You've also got things like the Lost Souls, which can be very difficult, again, to draw a bead on and can kind of spin right around behind you and chomp you if you're not careful. And you've also got Revenants, which have the unfortunate ability to fire heat-seeking rockets. You can try to use your plasma gun or your chain gun to actually shoot these rockets out of the air, and that's a good idea because they do a good job of hitting you when you don't want them to. If you're a Doom fan, then you'll recognize all of these monsters from the past. It's kind of like having a reunion with a bunch of old friends. However, Doom 3 has a bunch of new enemies that you've never seen before. These include some very creepy fellows like the Maggots. They've got these two heads, and they kind of clamber up right in front of you and try to claw you, and they're actually some of the scariest looking monsters in the game, but they're pretty easy to take out either with the shotgun or with any rapid fire weapon. Just concentrate your fire and don't let them get close. Slightly more difficult are the wraiths, which kind of look like imps, but can only attack you from close range. However, they can teleport towards you, which makes them have a very good ability at sneaking up right in front of you and then taking a swipe. So again, just be on your guard. Of course, there are lots more monsters you'll find during the course of the game, and more weapons you'll be able to use to dispatch them. But we're not going to spoil everything right here. You'll just have to play the game to find out. You'll be able to play Doom 3 at several different difficulty settings. The middle Marine difficulty mode is probably going to be what draws your attention since it's sort of the normal setting. However, if you've been playing first-person shooters for a long time, then you might just want to make a beeline straight for the Veteran difficulty setting, because the game is much more challenging there, whereas at the Marine setting it's actually fairly easy. The monsters are a lot scarier than they actually fight, and they're pretty easy to take down at the standard setting. Only later on in the game does the going get very tough. Once you finish Doom 3 for the first time, a fourth difficulty setting, Nightmare, is unlocked. In Nightmare mode, you're constantly losing your health, regardless of whether anyone is hitting you, so that can be a real challenge. In addition to the single-player campaign, which is the main attraction of Doom 3, the game has a multiplayer mode. It's basically an old-school deathmatch for up to 4 players. Like the single-player game, the deathmatch maps here are pretty dark and difficult to see in, so using cover, hiding in shadows, that can help give you an edge against your opponents. Like in other deathmatch games, though, the object here is just to grab power-ups, grab weapons, and blow away all the other players and come out with the highest score. One of the most exciting aspects of Doom 3 is that it's got a huge installed community from all those legions of id fans that have loyally followed the Quake and the Doom series over the years. What this means to you as a Doom 3 player is that you'll be able to download and install a variety of different mods created by the player community. Already there are mods that adjust certain aspects of the gameplay that some players have wanted to change for whatever reason, and these can really help give the game lasting value that exists above and beyond what you find in the actual box. To get the most out of Doom 3, we encourage you to check our download section regularly. This concludes our look at Doom 3. We decided not to take you to hell right here because we'd rather just save that for you to explore. It's well worth the wait when you finally get there, so by all means check out the game and see for yourself how hot it is down there.